non-stop multi-day race is it's not the time when you want to exist purely on energy gels. So what did you take on the move with you in between those checkpoints?
Yeah, so I'm a really big believer in real food when you're running long races. I would only ever really use a gel for like a sort of an emergency situation. So if you sort of get behind and have a real sort of slump, a gel can be useful to kind of bringing you back, I think, from that. But only to the point, only just to sort of get you eating again. That would be the only time I'd really use a gel. So I used essentially real food. I actually ate quite a lot of chocolate bars, because chocolate bars in the cold are kind of nice somehow. I ate like nuts. I ate I'd made some trail mix. I made a real mixture of savoury and sweet, because you sort of go off all sweet stuff. So I had bagels made up with cheese. I had some sort of mini cheeses, I had Scotch eggs, I think, at the start. I had frozen pizza. Jim, that was a tip from Jim Mann. So slices of frozen pizza in my drop bag, so that by the time I got, later on in the race, they defrosted, and I just picked up some pizza. That was good. Cake, lots of sweets. But really, what I would say is it gets harder and harder to eat as you go along, regardless of what you do. And it just sort of in ultra stuff I've done before, I noticed that towards the later stages, things that are easier to get down are things like rice pudding and custard and baked beans. I didn't have the luxury of carrying those when I was on the spine, because they were too heavy. So you tried to carry stuff that was light for the calories. You had to have 3,000 calories with you when you left a checkpoint. So yeah, generally I was trying to carry stuff that was energy dense, but that I would still be able to eat. That's why the chocolate kind of worked reasonably well. But that's why the food was so good at the checkpoints, because like eating a real meal after just sort of stuffing yourself with junk all day, or what felt like junk at that point. So that was a real sort of pleasure.
Yeah, luxury. Hey, luxury. And I can see from the types of things you were eating, like cheeses and Scotch eggs and things like that, that you aren't following a particular diet as a way to enhance performance. So I'm just thinking, what are your thoughts on the increasing numbers of athletes who are turning to a plant-based diet? Like, are you tempted to look into that side of things, or would you ever be tempted to give that kind of thing a try?
Yeah, I guess what I would say is that at home we actually mainly vegetarian, and I guess that's just because we feel ethically that it's better to probably reduce the amount of meat we eat. We're not vegetarians, but we just generally eat more veggie food. We'll cook all our food fresh, and I love big salads and fruit, and so having described my race food, it is quite different when we eat at home.
Yeah.
But in general, I would say I wouldn't turn to a plant-based diet as a way of kind of enhancing my performance. It's more likely I would do that if I felt it for kind of ethical reasons in terms of global warming and that sort of thing. But overall, I feel like a little bit of things like cake and ice cream is okay in moderation, and the same applies to kind of meat and whatever. I think it's all kind of balance is good.